two of the biggest names in nuclear medicine are combining. Curium, the radiopharmaceutical company controlled by the private equity firm Capvest Partners, has signed a definitive agreement to acquire its rival Lantheus Holdings in a deal worth up to $8 billion. Under the terms, Lantheus shareholders will receive $102.50 in cash for every share at closing, plus contingent value rights worth up to another $12 per share tied to hitting sales targets by the year 2030. Added up, and the total potential payout reaches $114.50 per share. That headline price represents a 38% premium to where Lantheus shares traded on an unaffected 60-day average, a 29% premium over 30 days, and a 21% premium to the stock's closing price before the deal became known. Once this closes, Lantheus will go private and stop trading on public markets altogether. The contingent payments are not guaranteed. They are broken into 3 separate buckets, tied to how well specific parts of the Lantheus business perform through fiscal year 2030. The biggest bucket is the global prostate cancer diagnostics franchise, worth up to $2 a share if sales climb into a range of roughly $950 million to $1.75 billion. A second bucket covers global neurology diagnostics sales, also worth up to $2 a share. And a third, worth a flat dollar per share, is tied to the DEFINITY heart imaging franchise crossing $400 million in sales. If none of those targets are hit, shareholders simply do not get that extra money. To understand why this deal makes sense, you have to look at what each company actually brings to the table. Lantheus has spent 70 years building itself into one of the most trusted names in diagnostic radiopharmaceuticals in the United States. Its flagship product, PYLARIFY, is the leading PET imaging agent for finding prostate cancer, and it just picked up FDA approval this year for a new version called PYLARIFY TrueVu that is designed to improve manufacturing efficiency and supply.
This is Conference Hype. Stay with us, coverage continues.
Lantheus also sells DEFINITY, the cardiac ultrasound contrast agent that has been the market leader in its category for more than 2 decades, and Neurasic, an Alzheimer's imaging tracer that was the fastest-growing amyloid PET agent in the country last year. On top of that, the company has a pipeline aimed at neuroendocrine tumors, with a lower-cost generic version of the cancer therapy lutetium recently picking up tentative approval from regulators, plus additional imaging and treatment candidates working their way toward the market. Curium brings something different to the table: scale and global reach on the manufacturing side, plus a bet on where the whole field is heading next. The company operates more than 80 manufacturing sites worldwide and sells more than 45 products already. But its real growth story is in what is called theranostics, a strategy built around using the same targeting molecule first to diagnose a cancer and then to treat it with a radioactive payload. Curium's most advanced program in that space pairs a prostate cancer targeting molecule with the radioactive isotope lutetium-177 as a therapy, currently being tested in a global Phase 3 trial, alongside a related version built on copper-64 that could work as the diagnostic half of that same theranostic pair. Curium has also been expanding its manufacturing capacity for lutetium-177 itself, opening a dedicated production facility in the Netherlands, and has struck partnerships in Japan to push its prostate cancer theranostic programs into that market. Put those two companies together, and you get a business that can genuinely span the entire nuclear medicine value chain, from producing the radioactive isotopes themselves, through manufacturing, all the way to diagnostic imaging and targeted radioactive therapy, delivered to patients in more than 70 countries through a combined workforce of nearly 4,000 employees. Curium's chief executive, Renaud Desharnais, called Lantheus, in his words, the ideal partner to accelerate what we have been building at Curium, pointing to expanded manufacturing, a stronger radioligand therapy pipeline, and a real foothold in the United States diagnostic market. Lantheus Executive Chair, and CEO Mary Ann Heino described the deal as, in her words, the ultimate validation of what the Lantheus team has built over 7 decades, saying it will let the combined company broaden patient access to both diagnostics and therapeutics worldwide. Kate Bryant, a senior partner at CapVest and Curium's board chair, framed it as a chance to capitalize on what she called significant emerging opportunities in the field. The deal still has to clear Lantheus shareholder approval and regulatory reviews, and it is not expected to close until sometime in the first half of 2027. In the meantime, Lantheus has suspended its financial guidance for the rest of the year because of the pending transaction, and it skipped its usual earnings conference call around its second quarter results. Word of a possible deal had actually been circulating for days before the announcement, with earlier reports pointing to a lower price of around $7 billion before the extra contingent value rights pushed the headline number up toward $8 billion. However it shakes out, this is a bet that the future of cancer imaging and treatment increasingly looks like one company doing both jobs with the same molecule. That is the story of Curium's up to $8 billion acquisition of Lantheus Holdings. Add your perspective in the comments, share this story with a colleague, and subscribe for the next ConferenceHype narrative.